later songs that I'm like, man, we got to bring those back. But we've done so many songs and albums. There's like so much to choose from that I guess we don't think about it all the time.
You need to get you a really good slide player in Nashville, and you guys need to cover a Derek Truck song.
You know, he told me Susan wrote the song, which he was proud of. He said that with great pride, you know, the way you say nice things about your family.
From the first note with Tedeschi Trucks, they just blow you away.
Yes, we will. I wouldn't argue with anyone that says that could be my favorite song on I Am the Moon.
He, signs my ticket, and I look over at Susan. I say, Susan, would you sign it too? And she goes, oh, heck yeah.
Kevin calls me and was like, hey, man, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. He was like, Derek wants to record some tuba stuff. I said, when do you want to do it? And he was like, let's do it Wednesday.
It's Midnight Harlem. And it caught our attention, man. And we started diving deep, and we're like, okay, we got to see these guys.
What's up? Welcome to the unofficial Tedeschi Trucks podcast. This is episode number 157, and I am Adam Choi. To follow this show, it's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram and on YouTube. Just search Tedeschi Trucks Podcast. If you're watching, you are already there, so please be sure to subscribe. Definitely appreciate that. Give the show likes, shares, comments, reviews, and I'm sure some people are in the chat here. Feel free to contribute that way. That's appreciated too. All the engagement and whatnot. This is definitely a fun community to be a part of. I'm at Adam Choi on Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to follow me, definitely subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. I'll be putting out an audio version of this episode for sure tonight, tomorrow, sometime soon. Definitely. I know I'm behind on clips from the last few episodes. There's so much good stuff that I want to put out from the Pacific Northwest stuff and the Berkeley shows as well. Those were amazing too. It's been an amazing run for this band, and I was at the last three shows: LA, San Diego, LA. But before we get to TedeschiTrucksPodcast.com for everything related to the show, AdamChoit.com for all my personal stuff and everything else related to things that I'm working on. But yeah, I was at the last three in Southern California. And it was such an amazing special run right there. Just those three alone for me personally. I don't even know where to begin. I guess I want to just thank some people before I forget to. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more of that coming, but my friend Michael for coming with me down to San Diego. He might pop in. We'll see. Super cool hanging out with him. It was his fourth, fifth, sixth show, TTB as well. My friend Steve, who came last night, thank you to him for hanging out. And I can see he's getting more and more into the band too, with each passing year and whatever. And it's, again, his fourth or fifth, sixth show I've dragged him to. And he said something to me, something about not his life flashing before his eyes, but really going on some kind of spiritual journey during Passaquan, his first Passaquan experience last night, which was I think it was a very special version of Passaquan, but we'll get into all that stuff. But yeah, thank you to the band, the crew, Gabe, Susan, Elizabeth, Bobby, everyone in the band, merch table, Xavier, Skip, Bradley, everyone connected to the band that I was able to just have a chance to say hello to and whatever. And just the music was so amazing. I don't know, everyone's been kind of commenting already, what it feels like to be on that, cloud nine or whatever for the ensuing days, months, whatever, after the shows. Everyone, the high does continue, I guess. But let's bring in Mary again, recurring contributor to the program, and we got newcomer Gregg Ubelhardt. I hope I say his name correctly or said his name correctly. Hardcore TTB fans who are at all the shows I was at. So let's do it. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
Real good.
Oh, I see you guys. I hear you guys. The technical stuff, I think we got that going good. Gregg, I want to start with you. Where are you, first of all?
Just north of Seattle. Just got home this morning. Flew out at 6:00 coming home from LA.
Yeah, so you and your wife, Brandy, right?
Yeah.
You guys are hardcore Tedeschi Trucks band, obviously traveling around to see the shows and whatnot. So before we even get into the Southern California stuff, and your tour, your personal tour, tell me how you got into Derek, Susan, TTB. Tell me the origin story.
I had seen them as separate bands for quite some time, and then
Lock in 2015. They did the Mad Dogs and Englishmen album front to back with Leon Russell and Claudia Grenier, Rita Coolidge, and Dave Mason, and every living member of that tour was on stage with them. And then they had the guest list was just unbelievable. David Bell from Panic and Warren and a whole bunch of other folks. It may have been the best hour and a half, roughly, of live music I've seen since Jerry Garcia died.
And you were there. You were there.
Oh yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow.
And they closed right after Jack and Yorma did the 50th anniversary of Jefferson Airplanes. That was a hard act to follow, and they killed. They just killed. And after that, it became we got to see these guys whenever we can. So I try and see them about a dozen and a half times a year, East Coast, West Coast, wherever I can get to them. And another significant one was they did a 3-night run in 2020, right before everything closed down with COVID. And I was there with a buddy that I had been doing Dead Tour with since we were 16, a friend from my grade school class. And as the world shut down around us shortly thereafter, we said, well, I guess we got to have a last concert. That's kind of the one to have. So, but yeah, we try and see them wherever we can.
Nice. Did you see the Learning to Live Together, the documentary? I know it's on available on Delta flights now and all that. That's supposed TTB News. You were able to catch it?
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So as someone being there, that just watching them film probably has even a deeper meaning to you personally, as someone who was. I've talked to a handful of people who were at that show.
Well, it's just, again, every show special in its own way, but these guys are fantastic. I tell everyone they are the best touring act in America.
I agree. So you that was your first TTB show, was that Lock-In show?
Yeah.
But you had been following Derek and Susan for
I'd seen them separately before for a number of years. So
going back even into the 90s or something like that, or
not all the way back to the 90s, but way earlier in the 2000s.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's so cool to connect with all these fans, and many of them, and a lot of them just been in this world, so to speak, for so long. And Mary, you're back home too?
Yeah, I was back home last night and back to work this morning, and it's physically been a rough day. My voice is a little shot but definitely still on a high, so it's okay.
I appreciate you so much, and it's been so much fun for me to hang out with you and your crew a little bit the last few days, and get to know you a little bit better, and whatnot. And you were not only just at the past 3 shows, you were also, of course, because we recapped this Santa Barbara show, so you had 4 in a row.
And that's actually the longest run that I've ever seen any band. I think 3 was my top before, which was Tedeschi Trucks as well. So I haven't been on tour with a band, but I just try to catch as many as I can, but they're usually more scattered. So this was, it was so nice. It was so nice to go to 4 shows in a row, and 3 of them, which I saw you at, and you met my best friend Corey. So she came with me to the 3 shows, and we just had such a blast. And I just have to say, in the beginning, the 2 of us, Corey and I, we've been going through our own personal shit and just work stress, whatever. And it's been a rough last couple weeks. And this it wiped everything away. It filled our souls. We're both just so revived and happy and just feel normal again. So it's, it's the best medicine.
No, I agree. It's interesting to hear you talk about you never been on tour with a band or anything like that. And me neither. And not that going to the shows is anything being on a tour at all and working on a tour, but you do kind of feel a little bit of that energy. And I feel that in a way that makes me feel that much more respectful and having a respect for what they do, because it's just I think we've all asked ourselves, how do they do this every night? Just asking that question, how do you do this? Get into this crazy routine. I'm eating bad, I'm drinking, I'm late, my schedule's all off. I don't feel like I'm totally myself. I'm letting myself, enjoy myself, and it's a special weekend, a special occasion. I'm not worried about everyday life things as much, and the music is what's everything revolves around. But I don't know how do you live the tour lifestyle? I guess it's tough.
It's not easy.
No. It's
I mean,
challenging just to go to the shows.
It's harder at 61.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to work at a small club, so I have that like sort of back end knowledge, not actually being on tour, but I interacted with a lot of touring bands and just seeing what they deal with. And my ex-husband's a musician, and so I've always been around musicians, and it's just not easy being on tour. And it's hard to eat well. It's hard to like have a sleep schedule and a routine. And so massive respect for any band that's doing that.
Yeah, I love seeing live events and just like watching some of the behind the scenes, the production, and just something about people milling about and running around and setting things up. And it's just it creates like an excitement, like just seeing Bobby T's and the crew set up the stage for Tedeschi Trucks Band. That like is part of the atmosphere and the experience of being at a show, is like that, even the music that they play before the shows and during in between the sets, like those are choices. It's not just background music. From what I understand, those are all specific choices by the artist. And does Derek make that set list too? Maybe. We should get into the music and the shows, but I'll pull up the poster, I guess, from the Greek. There were two separate posters, but they were not for each day. Or were they? Look, oh yeah, this is June 9th here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the 7th. Greek style. Very nice. Stylish. You guys didn't get any of these. Are you a poster guy, Greg?
No. I have a few, but a Ryman poster from a few years ago. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, you know what I want to ask? How many Tedeschi Trucks Band shows have you been to, Greg? Your estimate. I'm curious.
Neighborhood of 100, something like that.
Jeez. Okay, that's.
I mean, it makes sense if you're doing a dozen a year, right?
Well, and some of it's easy. When they do a Beacon run, we go back. When they do the Capitol, we go back. That type of stuff. So it's easy to get a lot of them.
The neighborhood of 100. I want to move into that neighborhood. That's a good neighborhood to be. But again, like whether it's 100 shows or whether it's 10 shows for some people, like the passion, I feel the same passion, from all the fans talking to them, like, on this show. Yeah, these are pretty posters.
Competition.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, it's not. But
the more the better.
Everybody I bring to a first show walks away with essentially the same reaction I had.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a second show.
Right. I had two newbies with me last night, and they loved it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I'm sure. I'll just read off the set list, I guess, from night one here, because I will be putting out an audio version. Playing with My Emotions, Ain't That Something, Smoke Ring Halo, 44 Blues, Made Up Mind, Midnight Harlem, Come and Go Blues, Yes Who Will, Let Me Get By, What Is and What Should Never Be, the Zeppelin cover, Do I Look Worried, Angel, Into Sugary, How Blue Can You Get, Idle Wind, Last Night in the Rain, Space Captain. I think this is accurate. I think this is what was played night one. This is I think this is the band, but the band posted Little Feat. Also, we could talk about Little Feat. They were super fun every night. Like, I got into them. You had a good crowd for Little Feat all three nights already at their seats, into it. A good amount of people there for Little Feat. It always catches me off guard when anyone is at a Tedeschi Trucks Band show and they're not there for Tedeschi Trucks Band. I'm like, what? What are you? I'm confused. I don't understand. I don't comprehend. But yeah, no, Little Feat's been around a minute, obviously, and when you're there, you could definitely see how they're a great fit for.
And they're from Los
TTB.
Angeles too, so there might be still a little bit of that hometown crowd for them 30, 40 years later. Oh God, is it more than that? Wait,
it's 50th anniversary.
Damn it! Yeah, I'm like, wait, I'm not mathing.
50th anniversary of the Feet Don't Fail Me Now album. So they've been around a bit.
Damn it!
Yeah. No, and they have such a great sound, and you got to give respect to any band that's going to feature some slide guitar in it before Derek Trucks or at a Derek Trucks show. So that's cool. And a lot of soulfulness and New Orleans vibe coming out of the Little Feats.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What about you guys have any thoughts about the Greek theater itself? We can talk about that too. You know, my big comment is everything is expensive.
Well,
Well,
the bar is expensive, so it was a water show both nights. But it's a great setting. It's a wonderful place to see a show. Weather was good. You know, overall, it's a great place for folks to see a show.
It's not a huge venue, and so it's
No.
has a fairly intimate vibe to it.
Yeah, I don't remember the seat count, but yeah, it's not that big, but it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful venue. It's historic, and I think the other day I was saying how it's they've had to lower the volume, but it seemed okay these nights. Last year when I went, and 2 years ago, it was really quiet, but I don't know. Maybe I was just closer to the front this time. But
It was pretty good. I could always use like a tick louder is always good, but yeah, no, it was. I have no real complaints in terms of that. But
and
yeah,
I thought the crowd was great too.
Yeah, a lot of participation, just a lot of
Yeah.
people up and moving. So
Yep. Yeah, the
Yeah.
energy was high in the crowd, which was great to see because it's not always like that in Los Angeles. So it was really nice.
it was pretty good. Friday, Saturday night, you get a good crowd. Yeah, this was a great set list. It had a pretty bluesy vibe. I thought to it. You know, even with like the the midnight in Harlem and whatnot. And
I loved this set. Loved it.
How blue can you get? Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was very Gabe heavy. Like this is sort of the first set that I've seen that featured Gabe kind of a lot. I don't want to go as far as saying it was like a Gabe night, but he was really into it, and he got a lot of solos. He sang a few songs. Like I noticed that.
For sure. Ain't That Something and Come and Go Blues are Gabe songs in this band in a lot of ways. And Let Me Get By is kind of a Kofi song, but meaning it's very organ
Right.
heavy and keys heavy. So that's definitely a place where Gabe shines, which it makes sense because last night we could jump around, by the way. It's totally cool because I'm sure I'm going to. Last night seemed, besides the guests, obviously, it was a very Derek and Susan centric night. I felt more than it was Tedeschi, a very Tedeschi and Trucks night. I felt like for sure.
Yeah.
The 44 Blues, I did do some research or I came across that it was played because it was Derek's last, at least partly because it was Derek's last night, last day as a 44-year-old.
Yeah.
So that was part of the motivation.
Oh, I didn't make that connection. That's great.
No, probably a lot of people did not. I didn't until, but a little birdie did tell me that information.
Okay.
So that's definitely part of the reason.
Go ahead, Greg.
No, that was pretty significant.
Yeah. Well, now it makes all the sense. But I thought I remembered somewhere Derek saying that he just really enjoys playing that song too. I could be wrong. It could be a different one, but that's what I was thinking. Was like, oh, this is one of Derek's like fun ones that he likes to play.
Yeah, they played it in Derek. You guys would know me better than me, but I've heard it on the archives with Derek Trucks band. They played this a fair amount. 44 Blues with Mike, obviously doing the vocal. We can just jump. I forget I was there, so I can just talk about what I saw and heard. I'm like waiting for you guys. So tell me about what I missed. But Jesus, I was there. I have all kinds of like reactions and things to say. It's all kind of coming back, although of course the whole weekend is kind of a blur. But the What Is and What Should Never Be, the Zeppelin covers, that was the Deuces Wild covers for the weekend. We got obviously a Bring It On Home last night, the Zeppelin cover.
So cool.
In that style, in the Zeppelin style. I guess that's a cover too. But yeah, and they teased the outro from What Is and What Should Never Be, I think at was it Santa Barbara or Berkeley? Well, or somewhere.
I think it was Reno, because
Reno, yeah.
Paige was talking about that.
Yeah, Reno was like the test show or something. That was a very unique set list and order of songs and all that for sure. Mariah's asking about it's stellar about Love That 44. How was it? It was awesome. That it it's definitely a good vehicle for Derek to do his bluesy slide thing. We got Randy here in the chat saying, love that they're covering Zepp. Yeah, I did not get it. I got a chip, I think, in San Diego, but I didn't get one in LA. But that's all. It's all good. Did you get chips, Greg?
First night LA and San Diego. I didn't last night. We were a little late getting up there.
But they're the same. It's the same. Yeah. It's probably the same chip for each city, whether you get one each night or whatever.
There were different ones in Portland and Seattle, I think. So
I think the chips are going to be ultimately redeemable for something or be given some kind of meaning. Any thoughts or speculation as to what that could even be? Something Swamp Family related? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I hope to have enough to have a full poker game pretty soon, though.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. That's the goal. I mean, what else about this set list? Do I Look Word is always just such a moment, you know, for the band. It's a show-stopping moment for Derek and Susan. And
so powerful.
Phenomenal job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. Stellar as always. Like, yeah, I mean, we got a full midnight with a full intro, and I think we got a
Little Martha
tease, right?
Oh, that always brings me to tears.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw you crying last night while I was crying.
At the end of the show, yeah.
I can't make you love me.
It was just the end, you know, like for me, it was like, oh, this is it. My 4 shows. And like, it was just so, oh God, I don't know. I mean, I cry all the time at shows.
even when cause I've been listening to that song quite a bit and seen it, you know, I think a couple of times already. They played it in San Diego. Am I tripping? I'm tripping.
Wait, which one?
Or maybe I definitely heard it on, maybe they played it on the live stream, the other Greek, yeah, they play it. So yeah, but so I'm like, you can almost tell yourself, oh, I've heard this a bunch recently. I'm not gonna break down emotionally. You know, I've heard like, I Can't Make You Love Me, you know, 5 times in the last whatever shows, listens, days. But yeah, it just grabs you, and she grabs you, and the two of them is just it's a special moment up there. We got a good amount last night of I feel like the smaller lineups, the 5-6 person lineups without the horns and the and the harmony vocalists. Again, I think there was an extra focus on Tedeschi and Trucks, but we can jump around. We can get there eventually. What else about night 1? Anything that you guys?
Space Captain's always so much fun too. I love the horns, you know, and just the whole jam in that one. It's just a uplifting, fun song. I love it when they play that for the encore.
Yeah, and that's the folks in the back row are standing for that one. Everybody gets up for that song. So.
And Elizabeth just tears it up on that.
Yeah.
She's just a force, and I think that's almost like become her, not her song, but like, I could be mistaken, but I think in the past more some of the outro solos, maybe the horn shared more, or Derek would pass it around more on Space Captain. Obviously on Show Me and some of the other ones, and typical encores, there's more surprise or variety, you know, even on a single tour who closes stuff. But I feel like it's been Elizabeth's time to shine, especially, you know, towards the end of that one. Her style just it really complements Derek a lot. Just I mean, it's like I keep talking about, it's a slide instrument in itself, you know, hitting all those tones.
The interplay between those two is just, it's phenomenal to watch. It really, really is.
Even the interplay between like Kebby, which maybe to some fans or is more polarizing, but it's almost a testament to Derek in some ways that he can really morph into someone who can complement all kinds of musicians. Because Kebby, I mean, I'm not an expert at any of this stuff and whatnot, technical and all the musical terms, but he definitely has a different style than Elizabeth playing, and it's definitely more an out there style, avant-garde, jazzy, whatever words and terms you want to use. But Derek just leans right into that too, and he's bouncing off of Kebby, and you can see that you know, those are some of Derek's favorite moments is swinging things over to Kebby during the shows.
And again, he's been phenomenal this whole run. He's been doing a great job. So
I don't know if you're talking about Kebby or
Kebby,
Derek, but yes.
Yeah, he's
all the
he
above.
brings it to every show. He's like an Energizer bunny. He's
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about like Derek up there, and he just seemed like he's like, obviously he practices and he's super talented and developed his talent and skills and all that. But sometimes it just feels like he's channeling some kind of the spiritual understand or something. There's something going on beyond even his abilities, where he's becoming almost like a vessel just for music, and it sort of flows out of him to the point where I think it's like almost like second nature a little bit, and it's almost like the third thing he's doing on the stage. I thought of it like this, because really his priority in some ways, I think, is leading. Like it's like this first thing is looking around, who's doing what, are we on time, is the band in order? He's the person in charge of that. So that's like the first thing he's sort of focusing on. And I feel like the second thing he's focusing on is actually enjoying himself. Like that's the number two thing, like reacting to Susan and the other players, and you know, once he sees that everything's in order, oh, this sounds awesome, I'm enjoying this, and then you get the smiles and the responses. So it's like the third thing he's doing is actually focusing on his own playing. It just seems so not effortlessly per se, but it flows out of that guy. And I think that really sets the tone for the whole band in a lot of ways, because it just seems the magic just seems to flow out of them.
It's always great to see Derek and Susan trading back and forth on solos. It's just phenomenal how much each of them loves to watch the other one play. It's great to see.
We got a lot of that in San Diego.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I was thinking. Because I'm like, where did we get the Outside Woman Blues and some of the other ones where they trade licks? I'm gonna pull up some of the San Diego stuff and we could get into that.
What a cute venue that is. It's my first time that I was there, and it's adorable.
Do you like that better than the Greek, or is it bigger than the Greek? I think it's a little bigger even than the Greek theater.
It doesn't seem like it because it's so compact.
And plus it's kind of closed in with trees and buildings around it, so it seems more intimate. But great staff there. Security was wonderful. We do a lot of standing up and moving around, so you got to have cooperative staff.
Right.
Where did you say you were sitting at the Greek night one, Greg?
From the crowd all the way on the right side, end of the aisle. We always pick outside end of the aisle if we can. I'm not in my seat very often.
I like it.
Aisle in the middle of a row.
Aisle towards the side or towards
the side, towards where the external aisleway.
Yeah, on the harmony vocalist side. You're saying. Yep. I got you. And
Mari, and opposite side, fifth row or so in San Diego.
Gotcha. And Mari, you were kind of middle, lower, kind of all three nights. Kind of, is that, were you in that kind of pit?
Yeah, like whatever that. It's not the pit area, but like the section right in back, like the Greek was section A, and I don't know what San Diego was, but San Diego, because of the steepness, I had no idea. I just knew it was like near the soundboard, and it was I loved those seats. It was so perfect that like this, because of the steepness, even with people standing up, you could still see over everyone. I was right on the aisle too, and right in the middle. So I had a direct view to the stage, and I'm short. So, I mean, I don't always stay in my seat either, but these seats were so good. I didn't need to leave. So yeah, I had great seats all three nights.
Yeah. Full disclosure. I did end up in obstruction seating on the left side, really down low, but you know, Gabe's organ, the Hammond B3 or whatever it is, blocking Derek at least part of the time. So I did end up moving closer to where Mary was, and
behind me,
and a couple open rows or whatever. So that worked out. That maybe that's going to be the new plan. It makes more sense. Be a little further back center trying to get closer down low on the sides is could be a thing to keep in mind moving forward with the
It depends on the venue too.
right.
Like sometimes, I don't know if you do this, Greg, but like, when it's easy to move around and the staff is chill, like it's easy to get up front sometimes. If everyone's standing and you're not like in people's way, then like you can just squeeze up front. Like even night one or Friday night, I had, what do we have? I don't know what section A, but like by middle half of the show, we were right down front, right in back of the pit, like in the aisle.
Yeah.
And the staff was cool. Like they didn't ask us to leave and we weren't in anyone's way. So yeah, I don't always try to, I mean, if the pit is standing, if it's GA, like I'll get pit tickets, but I'll go back a little bit.
We need more standing pit tickets. Calcross
Amen.
Credit Union open air theaters on San Diego State, right on the campus. You got sort of the sun and the skyline. Yeah, I mean, again, like these posters have, so many of them have these great details in them that I don't even pay close attention to until I'm on this podcast talking about them, which is kind of a good thing in a way. My reactions are fresh, but there's a lot of depth to this one. I appreciate that. Here's a good shot of the Calcross Credit something Union Amphitheater.
Yeah. It is a steep place, man, and it seems like there's more stairs coming out than there were going in.
Yeah, my seat was somewhere.
You're right, there were.
I was somewhere over here, and then I moved to somewhere over here. Yeah, it was nice, fun venue. This is their library, from what I understand.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what someone told me. Yeah, I actually met a lot of people that had gone to school there.
Yeah, I brought a recent graduate. My son graduated a month ago there. So
wow! Congrats to him.
Yeah, congrats.
He was there last year too.
Cool.
We try and bring the boys whenever we can. So.
Right, Randy here in the chat. Hometown show for Elizabeth. I think I got a picture of her wearing the Padres jacket. Very cool stuff. Brandon, let's share some of these pictures here. That was we can get into the set list here. Signs here, my dear fallen. I've got a feeling. Do I look worried? Soul Sweet Song, Statesboro. Anyhow, Outside Woman Blues, Shame, Bound for Glory, Presence of the Lord. I want more into Beck's Bolero. I Can't Make You Love Me, and Show Me. Is this what we saw? Mm-hmm. This is what we saw, right? I remember. Yeah, I remember it. The Shame. We got a full Shame. I can't remember the last time they played the full song with the full outro that's on the album and all that. So that was definitely something cool.
That was like the one song Corey and I really wanted, and we were so happy to get that one.
Yeah, that was
so good.
It's always powerful. I love what they do with the vocal. They give Susan like the echo and the mix and all that, and it's just the crowd was definitely hooting and hollering like for those moments. It's just so amazing how the band like brings it down to can bring it down to a whisper, and the places can be basically silent, the pin drop thing, and then rev it up to 11. And I'll jumping ahead last night's I Can't Make You Love Me. Right. We got back-to-back days of I Can't Make You Love Me. Am I tripping?
Yeah. I think you had 5 repeats from San Diego to the Last Night Greek.
Right. Well, a couple of them were because they played all of Crescent, so that was a couple of repeats.
Yeah. They fall into that one, but I'll take Beck's Bolero anytime I want to play.
Right.
Right.
I don't know if you felt this vibe even last night when Gabe and Susan came out for the encore to do the I Can't Make You Love Me, but it was really quiet, even quieter than I thought it would be. There was people were really like on top of the shushing and the quiet. There was a very respectful culture in L. I did not expect that, because you expect almost just a handful of people who are just going to be too drunk, and they're not going to be able to be quiet, not in a mean-spirited way. Just like there's always going to be a handful of people that just can't control out of thousands of people. But the quiet culture for for that version, especially last night in LA, I found impressive and surprising. I was like, oh shit, I better keep my mouth shut around these
I
people.
thought the same thing, and even just the quietness for a song like that in itself, I think, is powerful. Where it just the crowd is so, I don't know, stunned even that they can be so quiet. I mean, yeah, I noticed the same thing, that how quiet it was, and especially for LA. But yeah, it was very cool.
I think it helps. It helped that I think just Gabe and Susan come out to the stage together, I guess, because when you see just two people, it's not like it's different than 10 people leaving to get everyone to quiet down, where you just see two people. I don't know, maybe that people can anticipate a quieter like duet here. How was the crowd singing to Derek? Because of course it was Derek's birthday, and we'll get into some of that stuff later. Well, they tried to do it before. Some fans were saying, "Oh, let's sing when he gets to the stage," but the band just kind of starts playing, so that didn't work out.
No, it kind of did though.
Did it?
I was watching him. There was enough people singing that he heard it. And even though he was like, had his head down, kind of like getting ready, tuning his guitar, he kept looking up and smiling. And it was kind of like a blush smile. Like he heard it. It was adorable. And then at the end too.
Yeah, that one I think was definitely more audible, even if it was not in sync with the crowd. They're the singers, they're the professionals, not us. The band should have just sang happy. He doesn't want that. That would be the last possible thing that Derek would probably rather talk to the crowd than to have the band sing happy birthday to him.
I mean, I understand.
I'll put that poll out. That's an interesting poll. Would he rather have to speak or rather stand there on stage not playing and let the rest of his bandmates sing happy birthday to him, which they did, from what I understand, before the show. That looks like birthday stuff there in the hallways at the venue. Was there I think they posted a video for sure of the Regatta fan. I met her, this fan. Yeah. Yeah, she came up to me. I saw her one of these nights, and then I saw this picture, and I texted her or messaged her. I'm like, "Is that you?" with the sign on that they posted. Bradley Strickland with all these photos. He shot all these for the band, from what I understand. But yeah, what a special show to be at Derek's 45th birthday. Wow, that's a big one. What else we got here? There he is, the man of the hour. He seemed to have a good time. I think he had a happy birthday.
Oh yeah.
He seemed really animated. Like he was, I don't know. Yeah, happy. He was enjoying himself, and God, he just went off. It was a Derek show.
Yes.
You know, I do sometimes, or most often, do describe him as stoic, but he's not really. He's pretty expressive for a lot of the times throughout the show. So maybe his body language is more stoic, I think, but his facial expressions are not really stoic, especially like when it comes to the others watching and appreciating his fellow bandmates, and especially Susan and the guests. You can see bring him a lot of joy. Mark had some nice moments over I mean, everyone gets their shine. Everyone, all 12 to me. I never leave a night, or especially not a run of shows, feeling like, oh, I wish I would have got more of this person. I guess I understand how some fans can feel that way. Everyone has their taste and preferences, and it's never the right perfect thing for everyone. But I think they do a pretty good job of balancing out everything. Yeah, the Outside Woman Blues with Derek and Susan jamming and call and response and responding to each other is always fun.
Yep.
Statesboro tears down the house
every time.
Yep.
I thought we were gonna get another Allman Brothers song last night, because we had Come and Go Blues on Friday, and then Statesboro Saturday, and even what was it on Santa Barbara? They did. I must have done somebody wrong, which I know are blues covers, but we know them as Allman Brothers songs.
Here's the foil. Someone else actually asked. I don't think bought it, but they wanted to take a closer picture of it, and Merch was nice enough to let them get a shot. I'm like, oh, let me walk over and get that. That's the San Diego chip or generic chip. I don't know. I'm not sure I know all the.
Oh, that's the one that I got in Santa Barbara too.
Yeah, I saw that in San Diego. That was a black one. Yeah.
I will share this because it was pretty special. I did get a chance to say hello to some of the band after San Diego. I did not get any cake, but I did get to say hello to Susan and wish Derek a happy birthday, and
that's nice.
Said hello to some other folks back there. But yeah, this is pretty special. They're also sweet. The whole band. Everyone says so who's met them, and I have had that experience over and over again. You know, I think if you're nice and you're respectful to the band, they treat the fans very, very well. It's a great special fan base. I'm trying to I always ask that question, and maybe Greg, you could speak to this. Says maybe not just compare it to the Deadhead fan base, because I guess I've had that conversation a few times, but I'd be curious about your opinion about that, and just how the TTB fan base compares, contrasts, or stands out, or is unique. You know,
well, I always have fun. Last night, for example, we ran into somebody that we hadn't seen since we met him, the Greek 2 years ago, the LA Greek 2 years ago. Solo, he's a great guy. He's from Rancho Cucamonga, does the Southern California shows, and we recognized each other as soon as we saw each other. The crowd's it's a great mix of different folks from all over the place. And when I was doing the Dead, it was a long time ago. I was a lot younger. The demographic lent itself towards a younger crowd, but so much fun. And everybody you see says some version of they're the best touring band you can see. There's everybody. And a friend of mine who I toured with the Dead for a number of years has seen TTB several times, but he has never seen two in a row. And I brought him to both of the Berkeley Greeks, and he was like, now I know why you go more than once. And we used to go to 30 in a row with the Dead. So, but yeah, it's a really fun crowd. And again, everybody is happy to see what they're seeing.
Yep. Did I ask you that, Mary, before? That same question. How does the TTB fan base compare to others in the community and all that? Maybe I forget if I asked you that already.
I don't think you have asked me that. I mean, I don't know. That's
you're supposed to say they're the best band and we're the best fans.
They're the best fans. I mean, I haven't met a lot of fans. You know, I go to shows. A lot of times I go by myself. And I mean, I definitely talk to people. I'm a social person, but I haven't connected with a lot of people. People are nice. People are friendly. You know, and honestly, just to be honest, I've actually had some bad experiences with the fans and you know what, maybe they're not fans. Maybe they're just the crowd, but they're not actually fans. Maybe those are the ones I've had bad experiences with. I don't really consider them the fan base, but, yeah, I haven't connected with a lot of people, but these last 3 nights, even 4 nights, at Santa Barbara too, everyone that I ran into was really great. And the energy was good. I didn't have any bad experiences. Everything was wonderful with the crowd, and the energy, and, met a lot of cool people, had a lot of great conversations. So these last 4 shows have been amazing, in that sense, compared to some of the other shows that I've been to. So yeah, I don't know. I used to think it depended upon where you went. I had some of my bad experiences were here in LA. So that's why I started going to other cities to go see them, because I would have a better experience with people in different cities. But last few nights have turned me around again. So
yeah, you never know, and it's not really the band's fault or the venues. It's just it's very easy to have a few bad apples stand out in a negative way and ruin things for some people. And you're just gonna have that when you have a big community people, thousands of people meeting, and you're adding alcohol to that.
Anyone, I go to a ton of shows, a ton of different bands, and you can find that anywhere. So it's nothing against anyone, but again, everyone that I have connected with and actually talked to have been great. So
Yeah, me too.
obviously there's a lot of hardcore fans, and I love it. I love hearing other people's stories and the passion around it as well. So
I'm trying to connect with
cool.
all of them,
I
especially
think that's great.
fans like you guys have been to dozens and hundreds of shows. Like when Gregg says, "Oh, I've been to 100 shows," and I'm in my head, I'm like, "Oh, I don't know you already. We haven't connected yet. How are we not like best friends yet?" And all, and all that. You don't know who I am. Where am I going here? I'm gonna read the night 3 here. Night 3 of 3 for us. Set list here, my dear fallen. I'm the moon circles. Passaquan. They played Crescent straight through. Just won't burn. Part of me. Bringing on home. The Zeppelin cover from Led Zeppelin 2. Sky is crying. Bound for glory. It ain't fair. Had to cry. Keep on smiling. I want more into Beck's Bolero to close out the set, and I can't make you love me. Leaving trunk into volunteered slavery to close out. We had lots of guests, and we're going to get into all that. But I wanted to mention before I forget is that I haven't even talked to them about this yet entirely. It's been a busy weekend for a lot of people, but my parents were at, and my sister saw. This is going to make Susan jealous that they saw Bonnie Raitt this past weekend at the Westbury Music Fair in Long Island, on Long Island. And they said the show was amazing. I haven't gone into a deep conversation about it with them yet, but that's kind of funny and cool and unique and maybe meant to be in some ways that my parents are seeing Bonnie Raitt, one of Susan's heroes, and I'm sure she played I Can't Make You Love Me that night. I haven't checked the set list for Bonnie Raitt that night, but yeah, I'll let you guys react to some of this first. We could talk about the Bring It On Home. I mean, I guess we probably should start at Tim LaFave rejoining the band for a couple of songs and playing Bound for Glory, It Ain't Fair, and I think Had to Cry. I think he played those 3 with the band, a couple of them with Brandon, one of them solo. Like that was special to get him there.
Yep. Great to see him back up on that stage. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, there he is. I accidentally clicked right and I timed it perfectly. But yeah, that was super special. All right, I'm gonna retell the story, the quick anecdote. Tim has been on this podcast and has been super cool to me and super nice to me over the last few years or whatever, and I appreciate that. I saw his trio at the Baked Potato here in LA. That was an amazing virtuosity filled performance, and I recommend anyone see Tim play in any lineup. But I saw him in the parking lot, and Mary was standing there too. And for some reason, I went up to him and I'm like, "So, where are you sitting tonight?" Oh man, as if he was going to.
Worst question. It's
no,
okay.
no. There's. Oh, I thought of dumber questions I could have asked and more inappropriate questions, not in a scandalous way, but just like not told, just things I should not say. But yeah, that was pretty dumb. He laughs and goes side stage. And then you laughed, and my friend laughed, and the person he was with laughed. So I don't think he was offended by my dumb question. But no, like we all have those moments. When we guy forgot the name of his bar that he works at when he was talking to Derek. People forget their names, their jobs. They forget my wife's name. Where did she go? People losing, This is what we get starstruck by, to some degree, is by this band because they mean so much to us. But Tim was awesome, and
it was really special to see him sit in. It was great.
Yeah, you can see even just Susan in this picture here, just the looks that they're giving back and forth, and I just watching Derek the same interact with Tim. I would wonder if like just playing with Tim in some ways, just like, it conjures up thoughts of Kofi as well, especially going to Bound for Glory. Again, like a very churchy, organ-y song. Like when I talked to Gabe, on the podcast, he was speaking a lot to Kofi's church gospel influences. So like in some ways playing with Tim is maybe a reminder to the days playing with Kofi. But credit to the band for inviting him and getting him on there, and Brandon for sharing the stage literally and with him and without him up there. Good stuff. I did not expect that I was not thinking about guests at all the third night. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just thinking, oh, what are they going to play? Like, or what can we expect tonight? Like, just broadly, but not thinking, oh, we're going to get all these guests. We got Caesar and David Hidalgo from Los Lobos on a bunch of songs, and they were great. They weren't just there for shits and giggles. They were tearing up the stage but also not overstepping their bounds. And you could see Derek just loving their playing, and they're adding so much to the song. Sky is Crying and Had to Cry, which are just great rock and blues tunes and great forums to showcase these guitar talents. I'm going to let you guys talk.
Well, David for a while was out in the crowd, right side, right near us. So I got to, I don't talk during the songs, but got to go say hello without talking. But yeah, when I saw him with the pass, I had an idea who at least one of the guests was going to be. So, but yeah,
right.
It was. Yep.
You didn't ask him where he was sitting?
No. As a matter of fact, I didn't. I literally, I don't speak to my wife during shows. I don't talk.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, that's the way to be. I can't say I never say anything to anyone. Text your wife next to her. No phones, no nothing.
Well, there are breaks between songs, that kind of stuff. But
right.
Yeah, this was so great, and I've been talking about this already. Just like looking at the Passaquan, because from what I understand, and I guess they haven't played Passaquan in a couple of shows, a few shows, a couple of weeks.
A couple of shows, yeah.
They played it in Santa Barbara, but last night's was even more.
They hadn't played
it
in
planet.
Yeah, so I guess it's been 2 shows in just a few days, but maybe when you're digging into this music and paying close attention and catching what you can, it feels like a while. And it seemed like Derek was playing it like as if he hadn't played the song in a while. It was, I don't know, it just had an energy to it. Maybe I had a better view of the screens that show a lot of the expressions and emotions up close last night. That's a credit to the Greek as well. I really do love having those screens up there. It's like, no matter where you turn, you're not losing any sense of being present at this concert. Maybe I would love the Sphere. Would it be too overwhelming? I don't know. I'm sure it's amazing.
No, it's not too overwhelming. Go at some point. It's great.
Yeah, I'll go when TTB goes. There's like a sign up. There's like a waiting list for bands, I guess, to get on there. But yeah, Passaquan was super, super excellent. And I don't know. I felt almost like there was this. I mean, this is maybe a little out there observation or thought, but like maybe Derek felt a little relief that his birthday was over and like he didn't have to be worried about being the center of attention or getting attention for something like that, and could just refocus on the music in some regard and not worry about people singing happy birthday to him in the middle of the show. So I think he felt, I could almost feel like a little like relief and just like pure enjoyment. Also maybe it being the last night in LA and all the guests in the party. It almost had more of like a Saturday night vibe on a Sunday night. It was a party.
Well, yeah, whatever it was definitely that. Well, both, I think Circles and Passaquan would just like went out into the universe. It was, I don't know. I love Circles. I think I told you that the other day. Like they played both in Santa Barbara and they were both great. But last night was just, it was wild. It was the energy. It was next level for sure. It seemed longer. I mean, it's long anyways, but it seemed even longer. Like each section just stretched out. I mean, the drums were so long.
I really have no idea, especially when I'm at the show and I'm listening to Passaquan. I honestly, I guess maybe sometimes I can kind of guess, but more often than not, I have no idea if it's like, was that 15 minutes or have we been listening to Passaquan for 26 minutes? What my whole life is flashing before my eyes. My mind is going to so many different places. Like Derek especially is just taking you on a journey with that one for sure. The Just Won't Burn After, of course, after Passaquan makes sense in the set list because you're gonna give Susan, a Susan centric moment after that. But she was amazing.
Yeah.
Like she's getting better and better too, the way just, she builds her solos and tells a story with them and controls the crowd. She's doing it with her phrasing and her melodies and her choices and skill and technique and all that. It's not just the band revving up behind her, it's the musical choices she's making. And she really had the audience like by a string. And I don't know if you guys remember or can speak to it. Did Derek leave the stage at all while she was soloing maybe at the beginning? I don't know. I think he was there the whole time.
Yeah, I don't think he left.
Right, because Derek was on the stage the entire show last night, and they played 2 hours and 25 minutes. They played They played 2:25. They finished, I think, 10:55 or whatever it was, and he didn't leave other than before the encore. And obviously during the I Can't Make You Love Me. So literally he was up there for 2+ hours, which was insane. I was thinking about that somewhere during the second part of the show. I was like, I don't think Derek's left the stage yet.
Yeah.
Wild.
Having a night. It just
Yeah, he was just tearing things up on all these songs, from Fall In to Passaquan and the Bringing On Home, and had some solos on the Sky Is Crying.
That was a great little interplay between those three up there. That was something else.
Yeah.
That was wonderful to see.
And they don't play that all that much, the Sky Is Crying, at least not recently in the last, probably I would say, a couple of years. It hasn't disappeared totally from set list, but it's a rare. You get more of the How Blue Can You Get? And I'll admit, sometimes it takes me a second. Is that How Blue Can You Get, or is that Sky Is Crying? Well, okay, it's Sky Is Crying, it's a different song, and no, it's good that they keep both of those in the set list. It Ain't Fair. My friend Steve, who was at the show, he was totally floored by that. I'm not shocked by that, but
that is an amazing song to be able to try. First of all, that's a reach, but Alicia just owns that damn thing. When you think that Aretha Franklin did that, that's stepping up to a pretty big plate, and she just killed. Absolutely killed.
Absolutely. Yeah. My newbies were floored by that one as well. They were just staring at me like, what just happened?
I think that's I mean, I can't, not sure exactly. I can't speak to what that song means to Alicia personally, but I think like when she sings, every note that she sings, I feel like is sang with like a personal connection to the lyrics, to the meaning of the song, like to all the stuff, like all the context of getting to sing an Aretha song that Dwayne played on, and now Derek's playing the slide guitar with you. I think she gets all that, and all that like context and emotion and things from her personal life and beliefs. I think it all comes through in her singing, even on which they didn't do was, but when she has her parts on like I Wish I Knew or some of these other songs, like singing with such passion and raw energy and whatnot, it's very moving and intense. Like she has an intense presence in a great way up there.
Yep. Like I say, last night she just absolutely owned that crowd. That was really something else.
Has anyone even attempted It Ain't Fair? Like besides the original, like who has even covered it? Like
I don't know, but there ain't nobody who can do it that well. So
yeah, now no one else should try because it just won't be good.
ChatGPT says Otis Redding covered it, but sometimes it's wrong. But I'll have to look into that. That'd be cool. Dig that one up. What else about this set list? Tim had a cool solo on Bound for Glory. The Bring It On Home, it just rocked. It's just, they started, slow like Zeppelin, and then got into the main riff. And Susan, she does some of the she really gets into it and does some of the Robert Plant like gestures on stage. I don't know if you picked up on any of that seeing the Zeppelin covers, but she definitely channeled a little bit of his style and presence and his phrasing a little bit too, but obviously singing in her own voice. You don't want to do do a Robert Plant. Although I would think Mike, it would be interesting to hear Mike attempt a Robert Plant Led Zeppelin song, maybe go up into the higher register. But yeah, it just they just seem to have so much fun. The crowd loved the Zeppelin stuff all weekend.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I apologize, but I got to scoot. Tour's over. I got to go to work in the morning.
Oh, do it. No, I know. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the time. Means a lot. I'm sure we'll talk more music online, offline. Keep me posted when you got if you got more shows coming up. I'll get you back on.
Go to the Beacon.
Right.
Oh, that's what everyone's telling me. Go to every show.
Oh, wait, Greg, are you going to be at Red Rocks?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will see you Saturday night at Red Rocks.
So cool.
That's kind of an appointment thing. I pretty much book flights before the tickets go on sale. I know I'm going every year.
Right. Well, I'll try to find you on the Saturday. I might go to Friday too, but I have tickets for Saturday. So
yeah.
You're going Friday. You're gonna fly out or go out there for. Well, I guess for you, maybe it's not as big. Yeah, that's it.
I'm just gonna go for the weekend. That's what I did last.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great place, even when you get weird stuff like the rain from a couple of years ago, which was biblical.
I was not there. I heard about that.
I watched the rain on the stream.
Oh, good Lord. Within about 2.5 minutes, the rain was coming down those steps over the tops of your feet. There was a lot of water in our.
It was a small consolation prize for not being there by seeing people be a little bit uncomfortable. It's like, okay, at least they're a little bit uncomfortable. I'm here in my apartment watching the live stream, nice and dry.
I was running. I mean, it was one of those, we're getting out of here, there's lightning. And I was saying, oh, it's down south by Centennial. It's not going to bother us. And it kind of swept around. And then all of a sudden, it was like someone was in the last row with a fire hose. And thankfully, there's a bar with cover if you know where to go. So
there you go.
But, well, you guys have a great night. And
oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, cheers. Boot him out. He's probably trying to figure out how to boot himself out.
I can't stay too much longer.
Oh, it's all good. Get to peace out whenever you got to peace out. I was gonna say Kirk in the chat was asking. Well, he's just saying how Alicia's been on fire here, basically all tour, and Jay.
And everyone loves her. The crowd loves Alicia. It's great.
Jay's asking about SoCal tapers. I don't know if anyone was taping the audio of the shows. I didn't see anyone, but you know.
I don't know if it's true. So don't hold me to anything ever. But last year, I remember, not last year, 2 years ago, I remember people saying that the Greek or LA Greek, or maybe I even read it, doesn't allow tapers. So I expected there not to be any tapers at the LA shows. I don't know about San Diego, but I don't think there were at LA.
Yeah. No,
which is why I ended up filming a lot myself, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to listen to it on archive later.
Right. Who was your colleague that I was already? I mean, I'm sure people listening to this already were checking out some of the YouTube videos.
John Z.
Yeah, type Tedeschi Trucks on YouTube and change your search options to most recent uploads, and you will find some stuff from the last night.
He's got some great stuff. He was right up front, center, and he puts a lot on YouTube.
Yeah, with Tim and the guests and all that. Kirk is asking about who wrote "It Ain't Fair" originally. I'm not sure if it was Benny King or not, but what a great weekend of music and great stuff all around. How special is this? For sure. Look at
nights.
Oh yeah, good stuff all around.
We met right here on Thursday, and then actually hung out for 3 nights. So that was cool.
That's right. Online to offline to online, basically. But yeah, look at how special this is. This picture of Brandon and Tim together. Such fun. No hard feelings.
No, it was all the love.
Yeah, no pun intended. We all speak it. We all speak in TTB TTB puns. Anything else you want to mention or cover or talk about here? I think I
I
pretty much
mean,
shared everything that needs to be shared.
yeah,
Set
we're all
list
just
photos.
gushing. I mean, it was such just overall a great 3 nights, and really each set was powerful. There was more repeats than I expected, but no complaints. I'll take any of those over and over again. With the little differences, it it was so much fun. I'm so glad I did all the nights.
Yeah, I felt like there was almost like less repeats than I expected. It's funny that you
Oh, really?
well, it's almost like because they played Crescent, so Fallen and Here, My Dear. I almost don't count those as repeats because now I'm hearing them in the context of the full album, so that's a different experience. And
Right.
then you got Bound for Glory with Tim, so that I'm like, oh, that doesn't count. That's
Well,
a
that's what
different.
I mean by like it's the same song, but like they're different though. 'Cause,
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's never the same. So that's why I'm not going to complain about repeats, but I was surprised, especially with going to the Santa Barbara show, because a lot of the Santa Barbara songs were repeated in LA between the different nights. So, or actually even San Diego, they did signs, those two, San Diego and Santa Barbara. So, and maybe another one, Angel, they did twice.
yeah.
So
Well,
I
you
don't
went
know.
you went to four.
Yeah.
I only went to 3, so you're obviously gonna get some more repeats. But the Do I Look Word is always show stopping.
Oh, I'll take that every night.
Can't complain. Half the time I forget once they go into something that it was even played the night before.
It doesn't matter because
No,
it's just right in your face. The energy, the power. Who cares if they played it the night before?
they're playing it because they want to play something,
Yeah,
and
and it's amazing.
just the
So
fact that that they want to play it, like that makes it. I'm excited because like they're excited to play something.
right.
Even when they were contractually obligated to play Chevrolet. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if that's true.
Oh,
I think that
thought
was.
that
I think
was
that
hilarious.
that was just for fun. I'm sure.
I would love to hear that song though. I only heard it on the
Yeah.
recordings, but I remember that with the Derek Trucks band, and like I loved
Right.
that song. So I have not heard TTB do that live, but I thought that was pretty funny when
Someone did post, and I was gonna say someone did post in I think the main Tedeschi Trucks fans group on Facebook, something about like what's a rare song that they haven't played in a while or something that you would want to hear, and like that is a pretty good thread of things like, oh yeah, I want to hear that and that and that and that and that. It's like it's too much, and they just play so many covers also, so they have to like brush aside some of their original music. But there's definitely a handful of fans, and I guess you can put myself in that category, that would not have any issue with them playing a whole show of all originals.
Right. I would love to
Honestly.
see that. I mean,
Yeah.
they do those covers so well, but yeah, it would be cool to see like a all original night.
Yeah.
But you know what? Whatever they want to do, I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
No, exactly. I think we all are. We all
Yeah.
are. On that note, thank you again for your time. I appreciate it. I'll bother you guys about Red Rocks or something. Maybe we'll get a big gathering for that one.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right, cool.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you again for
you.
everything. Means a lot personally to me, for sure. You got it.
Thanks for having me again.
You are quite welcome. Talk soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there you go. What was that? Episode 157. Recapping Southern California. LA, San Diego, LA. Super fun. Weekend. Still buzzing. Still on cloud 9. At Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. Please subscribe on YouTube. For sure. On whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. Positive reviews on Apple Podcasts are appreciated. AdamChoit.com, TedeschiTrucksPodcast.com. TedeschiTrucksBand.com is the band's official website. Buy tickets to shows, buy merch. There's tour tickets on sale, Deuces Wild, throughout the rest of the summer into the fall. Swamp Family fan club app, download that, join the club. Lots of good stuff coming up. I can't even keep up with all the things. I definitely know that there's going to be, I think, more access to audio and video and all kinds of things. Thank you again to the band, the crew, fans, podcast supporters, guests, Mary, Greg, my friend Steve, Michael, I don't even know, Tim, Gabe, Derek, Susan, the crew again. I think that's about all I got for today. Thank you again, everyone. And yeah, let's talk soon. Peace.